All right, lecture 19, security and signatures. I want to talk some about personal security, but first things that have been in the news that I think are very relevant. The first is there is a stimulus bill including digital currency. There's an article, I emailed this out to you as soon as I saw it, but it is there. I'd like everyone to at least go and give it a glance. If you're having trouble accessing it because the site has a paywall, which Forbes does, let me know. I will get you individually a PDF of it. If you're a regular person that bops over to the site and sees things, they give you like 5 free articles a month. Another one is Atari is using Ethereum to trade game assets. Again, the link is worth going and looking at. It is this right here. And you'll notice that it talks about using non-fungible tokens. Non-fungible tokens is an ERC 721 to create individual game assets and how they get used in there. You can go and take a look at that and read through it. But yeah, people are actually using this. So it's interesting to see, you know, like 2 years ago when I first started teaching this class, there weren't that many actual real uses. Today, although you see less interest in this, there are actually way more products that are now coming to market. There's a long gap between everybody's excited and finally, you know, everything is horrible with it. And now suddenly you're beginning to see products actually reaching market using blockchain. So I want to talk about personal security. The reason I'm going to talk about personal security is not only does it impact all of us, and good security practices are important, but also because it explains a lot of why the security is the way it is in blockchains. So the most important thing to understand throughout this entire lecture is that systems that survive pay out to all the responsible parties in proportion to the level of responsibility. So if you have a fair system over time, it survives. If the system is fundamentally unfair, it collapses. So if you don't pay everybody fairly for their participation, eventually they will find a new system, they will rebel, they will build something else, they will go somewhere else, they will do something else. And one of those ones that all of us are burdened with is computer security. And computer security is really friction versus access. Everybody wants to access their stuff immediately without going through the hassle of, oh, I've got to log in, I've got to do this, I've got to do two-factor authentication, I've got lots of steps. And we don't want to go through the steps because it's friction. And that friction is there to keep people who aren't authorized from getting access to pieces of information, pieces of data, but that friction makes our life difficult. Now, I think people will choose convenience over security every time if they're given the choice. You know, it's how important is your data to you? Well, until you have a problem, it's not important at all. And most of the time, it looks like you're not having problems. So laziness creeps in. People are susceptible to psychological attacks, phishing attacks. The Suxtant virus was transmitted over air-gapped computers, probably by somebody leaving a USB drive out that somebody picked up that had the virus on it. It was left out intentionally, and they put it into a computer that was air-gapped. So even across air gaps, now here's an example for getting across an air gap. Somebody wanted to do penetration testing on a business. So they went out to the parking lot and they left a CD with the following title on it for people to pick up and see if they got across. And the title said, "The next year's employee evaluations and raises. Private data, do not distribute." And that was the title written on the CD. And some employee went out, picked it up, saw it, couldn't resist the temptation to stick it in a computer, and guess what? They were across the firewall into a system, just like that. And you could do the same sort of thing with a thumb drive. So, you know, the human beings tend to be the weak part of this because they're the ones that are susceptible to human weakness. And the computers actually have the capability of producing strong security, if we use it. That's the problem. Individuals are not motivated to use strong security. Ethereum, Bitcoin, these systems are built with strong security built in. And that's where we're going to get to digital signatures.